Welcome back to the second half of the Bobby Dupre Show, and my sidekick here, Andrew.
Good morning. That's three. Man,
yes,
I got like a show and a half today.
I'm telling you, you're getting paid time and a half today. Time and a half.
That's right.
I spoke about the name of the paper, the newspaper in Natchez is the Democrat.
Right.
And the front page, and we
show this photo, Mark.
We broke it down into two
halves.
Two halves. He is risen,
right.
And then under the second half, the bottom part of the front page was a story after the Sabbath, and goes on beautiful, beautiful prayer of Jesus's last day. Last days, I guess, would be better to say.
Or I guess the first day back. The day of the resurrection.
Right, the day of the resurrection. And the priest mentioned and thanked the newspaper for running this full-page front
Yeah, because, I mean, they can do whatever they want. I mean, they could show the bad news instead of the good news.
And they chose to show the good one, and I just thought it was kind of unusual. And then going back to the country roads, and I think this is going to be the end of it, but the 8th annual Blooming on the Bayou is taking place.
That's
and for many years, Miss Courtney Raymond would send us a flyer on it. And of course, this year, she's busy taking care of her husband, Mr. Johnny Raymond, who had surgery. And by the way, he is doing a whole lot better. If you buy there, give him a call. Maybe if everything is going well, you can go by and visit with him. And when you're in Brobridge, if you go by Buck and Johnny's, that'll help their business. He and Mr. Buck have a first-class restaurant right downtown Brobridge, Louisiana. And of course, the Blooming on the Bayou, as I mentioned, is an annual event, 8th annual already. We started with it when they were first getting started. And this will take place Saturday, April 21st from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the Brobridge.
This Saturday.
And at the City Veterans Park, by the way, they called it. How about that?
Well, I got a lot to talk about veterans today.
Let's talk about the veterans.
You and I went last night over here. Show some photos, Mark. We went to the American Legion Hall.
Post 45.
On the airport road over here in Opelousas. And, of course, my good friend, Mr. Ken Thibodeau, called me to go by. And, of course, we got Mr. Briley there as well. And
Will and Mr. Gassman.
Right. And we were there, and they wanted you and I to go talk about a few things, and so we dropped in, but we found out it was more than just talk about a few things. They had their meeting, and I'm kind of whizzing through the meetings. We saw Miss
Ryan Fontenot, former superintendent of schools in St. Leonard Parish. She's very active and gave a financial report as well as minutes of the last meeting.
His son is a volunteer basketball coach around OC for the little kids, does a great job. And Miss Barbara heads up the American Legion's auxiliary group, Miss Barbara Thibodeau, Ken's wife.
In the community.
And you got surprised.
I got a surprise. You suckered me in there. But anyhow, I do appreciate them.
They gave you an award, the Citizen of the Year Award from the Opelousas American Legion Post. And you do a lot of things, but I think the thing that the American Legion, what caught their eye this year to kind of bring you to the top of the list was the donation of the property where they're going to put the Veterans Memorial over off Highway 182.
And I mentioned, and I mentioned it from my heart, very little talking. When I do these things now, I don't talk like I used to long ago.
I used to do this in the back. I don't even have to do that anymore.
No, I don't have to do that anymore. What I did was, first of all, I was very thankful to God for allowing me to have done so well. For a little boy from Plaisance, never dreamed of that. But then also to open me up to donating of some of the things I have. I don't have to have that land or the land Cody and I gave for the baseball park on the Lewisburg Highway, the 22 acres there. You know, things that others can use and appreciate now.
Sure.
And the donation of that land, I think I've mentioned it before, but I get thank yous from young people that their grandpa was in the Second World War. We have Vietnam veterans. Their kids know me, thank me, and of course the veterans do too. Now, I don't want to bypass the veterans.
And don't forget, a lot of young people still serving today. So, I mean, it's going to impact into the future strongly.
And that little piece of land, hopefully, they can get their funding, you know, all lined up and start working on the project.
And also, I'm going to show this.
They're doing work behind the scene right now,
yeah.
planning.
I'm hearing that they're getting most of the material together. Now they got to work on getting the property right.
You even heard the statue has maybe...
Perhaps the statue has been completed, and perhaps it's already on its way. Might even already be in Louisiana, is what I'm hearing,
was made
from Italy.
From Italy, the same one that made for the
Lafleur Monument.
In front of St. Andrew Catholic Church. So they went to the best.
Oh, yeah. He's good. He's excellent. Mr. Alexandrini, if I can pronounce that right.
And, of course, this
Franco.
is a 90-year young
Mr.
American
Dalton,
Legion member.
Dalton Como.
Yep.
Who has come to the retreat now. He said 48 years he's come with us on a solid
and I've
retreat.
only been 44, and it's hard to catch up.
I'll tell you,
because he's
trying to put some distance in.
Yeah.
You can't, you know, as long as you go every year, he can't get any further ahead, you know. But Mr. Dalton, I want to thank you for being so nice last night. And this is the whole group that the American Legion recognized. They recognized Mr. Joe Richard as a 50-year member.
All the way on the right.
All the way on the right of the American Legion. On the left, you see Ken Thibodeau. Next to Ken, you'll see Jonathan Dunbar with the Opelousas Fire Department, who was the Fireman of the Year. The police officer is Miss Lorraine Etienne with the Opelousas Police Department, who's recognized as the Officer of the Year. And then the educator was Mr. Jason Thibodeau, who was a teacher over at Westminster Christian Academy over here in town. So,
and then the next person is, again, Ryan Fontenot,
right.
And then Bobby Dupre, and then Mr. Gassman, and then Mr. Richard all the way on the right.
That's right. So I want to congratulate all the winners.
And I want to thank them
awards.
again. I think I thanked them last night, but I want to thank them again. It did make me feel good, and I will have it up in my place where I hang pictures and be proud to do it.
You got it. Now, we've also got the Washington Garden Clubs coming up, not this Saturday, but next. They're going to have a free garden affair called Grow Green at the St. John Episcopal Church. That's on 308 North Church Street, the old church that they've redone real nice. They're going to have a whole bunch of things going on. They're going to have a bunch of speakers talking about herbs and birding and bees and conservation and even cracklings. If you want to go buy plants, you can buy plants. They're going to sell bag lunches from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Go by and hear everybody from Dr. Carlos Smith with LSU Ag, Charlie Graham, Dr. Catherine Fontenot, Mary Quirk is a florist from the Biltmore. You've been to the Biltmore estate.
Sure have.
Miss Mary Quirk, who does flower arranging there, will come down and do some speaking here as well. So
okay,
somebody local
I remembered her
involved.
working there. I remember that. Sure did. We try to cover a few sport items each week, and of course, none other than Tim Tebow. He participated in the Easter services, and he gave a short sermon at a church, an outdoor crowd of at least 15,000 people came primarily to listen to him. And he is really a good full-time Christian.
He's turning into the second biggest single guy that's a Christian talking at Easter. Second biggest. You know who the other single guy is on Easter? The Pope.
Yeah, he
He's
is.
single too. Huh?
And then, of course, a very tearjerker at the end of the Masters golf tournament was none other than Bubba Watson. He goes by Bubba Watson, and he's shown here in this picture. His mother's hugging him, and he's hugging his mother, and they're both crying. Happiness, of course. He had just won the Masters, and he has never taken a golf lesson. And he's never had a coach to change any of his style or anything. What he learned going out, I think beginning at 6 years old with his dad, he's just gone from that point to winning the Masters, and that's probably the first that never had a lesson.
Now I'm going to throw the curveball in this. Ted Scott, who's his caddy, lives right there on Montgomery Road, right outside of Westminster.
Isn't that something?
Right here from Opelousas. And I watched that weekend. I said, boy, it'd be so nice if Bubba could end well. And did he end well? He ended at the top. So
yeah, and was in a playoff second
had
second
a miracle
hole,
shot to come
a miracle
back. And
shot.
I mean, that thing just
he curved
made
it.
a curve.
And last night he was on Piers Morgan, CNN, and then about 2 hours later, he was on David Letterman on CBS. So apparently,
he got a great personality.
Oh,
just
yeah,
well-spoken,
sharp. He threw a few little curves at David Letterman, and David loved it. I mean, he came right back.
Give it right back at him.
Yeah, right back. Anyhow, good to see kind of a different style of a winner, and doing it his own way.
Piggly Wiggly. If you go and look for some groceries all throughout South Louisiana, Piggly Wiggly's got a location near you in Opelousas, Church Point, Rains, Scott, Cecilia, St. Martinville. That's 2 in Opelousas, 1 in Simmsport as well. And right now they got the fryers and drumsticks or thighs family pack, 99 cents a pound. Fresh ground beef family pack, $1.99 a pound. And they got pork picnics of the hams, 99 cents a pound. T-bone steaks, Angus certified beef, $6.99 a pound. Go by your local Piggly Wiggly. The pig knows best.
Our own local state representative, Ladrika Theory, joined State Treasurer John Kennedy Wednesday announcing the restoration of $800,000 in the Racina funds, which belong to the St. Leonard Parish School Board.
Restoration is because somebody was trying to take it.
Yep, the governor was trying to take it, and people got involved, and we want to thank Ladrika and everybody else. I'm sure our state senator was helping on the Senate.
I think there's some more money still out there. She got to stay on it. Stay on him. Don't let him take it.
Don't let him take it. And anyhow, we want to thank him, and that's going to certainly help our cash-strapped school board a long way.
And I saw our sales taxes are up slightly. That's going to help fill in the hole. Whatever you can do, if you're going to buy things, if you're going to buy anyway, buy locally. Make sure that what you're going to look at in another parish, maybe you can buy here to help. New Orleans Saints
head coach Sean Payton had appealed his suspension of 1 year, and that also suspended his payment check of about $6-7 million.
Or 8 or 9.
He made an appeal, and it was denied. Did that surprise you?
Nope.
He went back to the same man who gave it to him. He did come at the end, before he closed the hearing, he did say that if Mr. Lomas, who's the general manager, and Sean continue showing remorse for what happened,
then maybe he'll back it up in the future.
Not change the time that he has to be gone, but start letting them receive their payment, their pay.
That's interesting.
Well, that's interesting. That'd be good. I mean, it would help him. He's got a young family.
Yeah, but then if you're the owner, how you feel about that? That you don't want to. You want to pay a guy that's not working?
I think Mr.
Benson likes him.
I think he'd be glad to pay him just to keep him around, just to make sure he comes around.
Slimco, we got the Slimco scholarships coming up. I'm jumping in ahead of you here. Application deadline is May 3rd, so you got to get your application in. They're going to give 20 $2,000 scholarships. You got to be in good standing with Slimco as either a customer or a child of a customer. You got to be in high school graduating or in your first year or so of college. Give them a call at 896-2520. Go to slimco.com for more info. KSLO will see another side of 3.
A final reminder here is a master former program that's offered, is going to start Monday, April the 16th. And that's in the Lafayette. You could contact Stan Dutiel, the county agent in Lafayette Parish, and get all the details. You probably know this is a reminder, friendly reminder. And a very serious fire took place over at 3 Mile Lake area.
I saw that.
A home was totally destroyed. And that's the first fire that I can recall in recent years out there. So let's make sure that we all...
You got a key?
I have a key.
That's the boat launch key.
That is the boat. The 3 Mile Lake Association set up a key system with a chain across the boat launch some 3 years ago. And this past week, the keys were mailed out by my own sidekick here, Mr. Andrew Guitros. So if you paid your